crowd of women tried to burn the bank down, the whole darn thing, but you couldn't burn down the rock it was standing on. No, and not that fucking foundation it was built on either. Not that foundation of concrete slab and ingenious masonry. Those Molotov cocktails were about as useless as a fly trying to take down an airplane. The foundations of that bank would stand, and there wasn't a darn thing any angry rebel could do to change that in the end. Just then, a cab slammed on the brakes in the intersection, and a man hopped out of his car. The man was wearing a hood and waved a machine gun. "Time to die, motherfuckers." He turned the machine gun on the passenger in the back seat of his car, some woman in a business suit. Then he fired right a ton of bullets straight at her. She screamed, "My son, God, no!" Mickey ran for the nearest doorway and took cover. He heard the gun keep blasting at people in the crowds. It was pure pandemonium, people screaming and dropping dead. It was terrible. Then he heard the sounds of cars crashing and slamming into one another, broken glass flying everywhere, dented doors and shattered windshields. It was like being in a demolition. And that nasty worm of the red air was everywhere, spreading up against the walls and windows and city curbs, leaving a film on his skin, burning his eyes. The smell of the red fog made him want to vomit as he bent over and tried to choke his guts back. He saw the cracks in the cement, a few of the granular sand specks sparkling in the red air. The entire places were reeked of sulfur, rotten eggs, the kind that rotted out your guts. It reeked of burning hair on fire, burning eyeballs at the wretched, violent sights. Mickey's eardrums heard the pounding sounds of civil war as the bullets shot down dozens of helpless people, and the screams hit the air, and the screams faded, and they kept fading until little by little the crowd got smaller and smaller, and the air grew worse with the smell of death, more burning hair, and now the sudden smell of burning teeth. Burning bones from the last explosion. It was the smell of hell. Mickey tried to cough it right out of his lungs, out of every fiber of his veins and blood. It made him dizzy as his heart pounded. Something terrible was in the red air indeed, and it was evil, pure fucking evil, and Mickey knew it. And it was as if whatever demonic energy the air possessed, it was trying to get into his psyche too, trying to work its way into his way of thinking. He had urges of hatred for his fellow man, sudden urges of envy, rage and anger that they had more money than him and that he deserved theirs. They were going to steal his, and he knew it. He had sudden urges to kill. Yes, I should kill them all too, just like that fucking guy with the gun. I need to join in on the revolution and fight. Suddenly he saw another woman shot down, and he thought crazy thoughts, evil thoughts. She had to die. They all have to. The cabbie was right to do it. The time has come. I want that fucking gun, damn it. I want to finish the job. Just then, he eyed an old man struggling with a can in the doorway across from him. Mickey thought about it. I should get him. I should. But he tried to resist the urge to run over and kill the man. He tried to resist. He had to resist. But that good part of himself kept getting smaller by the second. With every breath of the red fog that he inhaled, he felt more like doing it. Yes, running over and toppling the man and ending it all. He resisted. Must resist, he thought. Have to resist. No, this is not me, he told himself. Go away. Be gone, I say. Be gone. Just then, Mickey saw the red haze exit the pores of his skin, leaching out as if it were a living ghost of a leech, a vaporous worm that crawled under men's skin and ruled the world with evil, and the red fog was as thick as smoke. But just then the fog shot back at Mickey. Yes, it went for his face and tried to smother him and get back inside, but he fought and resisted and held his breath and kept crying out, "No, be gone, I say." And the red fog burned his eyes and made him scratch his skin. It reeked of men dying. More tones of burning bone and more flares of burning hair. Terrible. Wretched. The red fog is doing this blasted thing. And it is just like the scroll said, just like that wretched passage said, all to give rise to our revolution and resolution, all for utter control, and so he fought back to sustain his independence. His freedom from the mind control, from the evil spirit of that wretched, violent, envious and hateful thing. No, this isn't me, he thought. And it will never become me. No, this isn't who I am. I don't want to strike that old man down, and I didn't want to see any of them die out there. No, that's not me. And so he kept fighting. He tried to regain control. But why? Oh, why am I thinking this? Am I evil too? Am I? Finally, the thing retreated, and Mickey's mind raced. Just then, he opened his eyes and stood up in the doorway. He was barely able to move his legs. He was weak in the knees. And that's when he saw a woman's head slam down against the sewer drain. She took in the bullets of a gun and plummeted. Then her dress lifted slightly up in the breeze, and it was all sad for him, all too sad, and that sadness is what kept his hopes alive. Just then, another thick wave of the red fog blasted into the air. It was as if it was attacking him, all for feeling sad for the woman, all for having a heart for another human being. And that's when Mickey lost sight of everyone and everything in the red haze. Suddenly, an even thicker wave of the red fog filled the air. Yes, it was really filling it up this time, blinding out the sight of everything, every single detail the human eye could see. Even the bullet fire began to cease, along with the screams, and then those alien thoughts returned to intrude into Mickey's head again. And they wouldn't stop, but he kept fighting them. They all deserved to die, all of them. All of those leeches leeching off the system, bringing us down, taking money from me, taking money from the state. And then a smile began to break free on his face. Yes, they all should die, oh yes! But then he fought back his smile and clutched his hair and dropped to the sidewalk and pinched his eyes shut. And he cried out, "Oh God, stop it. No, I'm not happy about this. No, stop. This isn't me." Suddenly he felt another evil force try to enter and get beneath his skin again, and it was as if it had thousands of tiny teeth that kept biting and nibbling into each fiber like 1,000 pinpricks, all from that wretched living evil fog. And the fog was full of a living force, a living spirit, made of something evil. And it tried to tuck itself under his cheekbones, and he fought it sift up into his nostrils. Indeed, that evil spirit thing was trying to take over his reflexes and make him see the world through its own eyes. Kill them all. He kept thinking. It is time for them all to die. Now isn't it, Mick? It is time for you too, isn't it? All of those evil thoughts and words kept invading his head as he tried to fight them off. But for how much longer could he? The wretched fog of their science was now beginning to control the world. Who could stop them?